Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back into a Fortnite video. And today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the best tips slash settings to use if you guys are looking to hit way more shots in this game. So if you feel like you're struggling to hit shots on other players, definitely stay to the end of the video because these settings will help you guys out tremendously if you are looking to hit your shots and improve your accuracy. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys would like to enter this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload and when I announce the winners every Friday. And lastly, make sure you guys put down your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account down in the comment section below, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And lastly, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do, go down to the bottom right, hit on support a creator, type in my creator code, which is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some really good tips and tricks and also show you guys some very good settings to use if you are looking to hit a lot more shots. If you feel like you're struggling with hitting your shots, you feel like your accuracy isn't very good, definitely try out these settings because I think these are the very best and they're going to help you guys out a ton if you are looking to hit a lot more shots. So there's a couple of changes that you guys want to make, and the first one is going to be in the game settings. You guys definitely want to have the record replays on off if you guys don't already have this. Sometimes you guys accidentally check it on. You want to make sure you have this off because this can affect your FPS a little bit, and just having that little bit extra FPS boost can really help you improve your aim. So you definitely want to make sure you have this setting off if you guys don't. And so the second setting that I want to talk about, and I think this was a really interesting one, is I want to be talking about the HUD scale. And now this is basically how big your minimap and your guns are. I play on about 80%. I would recommend anything from like a 70 to an 80%. Now the reason why this setting specifically is really important is going to be because when you are going for, say, flick shots on other players, and they're either maybe, in the bottom right or even the top right of your screen, a lot of the times it can be very hard to hit flick shots and very hard to adjust on other players if you guys play on the normal HUD scale. So you really want to play on a 70 to 80%. It's going to allow you to see more, which is going to help you easily line up a lot more shots when it comes to flick shots in certain directions. So you definitely want to have that setting on if you guys don't. So going into my controller options, as far as the settings you guys want to use, I have a 48% and a 47% with a just slightly higher horizontal speed, and then I have a 1.9 for my building and a 2.1 for my editing speed. Now these settings are really good, and of course with these settings I think they're very good for building and editing, which I'll show you guys in just a second, and as well they're very good for hitting a lot more shots. But a big thing that I've been doing is I've been either playing on a slightly higher horizontal or slightly higher vertical speed for my look sensitivity. I think having a just slightly higher of one of the sensitivities could pose a lot of advantages. So like I said, with these settings, you can definitely build and edit very quickly, even though it's not necessarily like the fastest sense ever. You can definitely build very quick on these settings. So if you guys are looking for just any settings at all, these work really good for building and editing. As you can see, this was kind of just like first try, having a couple free builds, and I was able to build very smooth and also very fast if I needed to, and it seemed to have a lot of control over my edits. And also, one of the most important things ever is you make sure you want to practice this edit specifically, and that's why I play on the editing sensitivity that I do, which is like a 2.1, something that is a little bit fast, but at the same time still not out of control, because you want to make sure you have this edit specifically mastered, just because this is one of the most overpowered edits in the game. And at the same time, playing on linear settings, it can make it a little bit harder to have a lot of control over your crosshair. So this edit, I would say, is probably one of the most difficult edits to consistently have down. You really have to practice it a lot just based on the movement and how it is. I really don't have any specific tips on how to practice this edit, but you really just want to keep practicing and practicing. But you really want to have an editing sensitivity that is going to be low enough that you have a lot of control, but also not too low to the point where it's just not fast enough. Problems with overcorrection, which is when you accidentally go too far. Right here, I'm obviously exaggerating exaggerating, but of course you can see my point. You definitely want to make sure that you have the edit that I showed mastered. If you have a lot of control and you're very confident in that edit, then I think any editing sensitivity that you can do that on is going to be a good setting to try out. And with the sensitivity that I had a just slightly higher of an X sensitivity, which I think is a very good thing to use if you guys are looking to hit more flick shots, just be a little bit quicker when it comes to box fighting and flick shots. I think playing on just a slightly higher X sensitivity is going to be the way to go, and a thing that I think a lot of you guys should use. No matter what sensitivity you play on, you just want to play on a slightly higher of an X sensitivity, and it also could help you out tremendously if you are looking to make your boxes a lot quicker, because turning left to right is going to be faster. Now, as far as my ADS sensitivity, I play on 11% and a 10%. I really like this sensitivity a lot, and I have been using it for a while. I usually stay in the ranges of like 9 to 12%. Now, 9% can be really good from long range. If you just cannot hit long range shots, play on a 9% and a 9%. But the reason why I play on 11 and 10% is because I play on just a slightly higher X sensitivity, because if I'm going against multiple players, if I'm getting third partied, or if I'm playing like duos or squads, and I know and I need to go in between players very quickly, I'm able to do so without any problems or hesitation, because I'm going to be able to go in between the players very fast if I play on that just slightly higher X sensitivity, and at the same time it makes it easier to track at close ranges. And I also do play on a 0.05 look dampening time, which helps me out a lot if I'm just making small adjustments from range, which can be a big help for a lot of you guys if you just feel like you're struggling. If you feel like you're the type of player who just barely misses the other player, I would recommend turning this setting on. If you feel like you're just missing the other player and you feel like you're just missing him because you're overcorrecting a little bit, then that's when you want to have a little bit of a look dampening time on, because it kind of slows your movement down just a little bit, which can be a big help for a lot of you guys if you feel like you're just slightly missing the other players, especially from a little bit of range, from I would say a little bit of the deep medium to long range areas. That's probably when the look dampening time is going to be the most helpful to the majority of players. So going down to my last settings, I play for, as far as my dead zones, I play on 11% and a 7%. Now I play on just a slightly lower of a look stick dead zone, and I've been using this for the past week or so, and it has made a tremendous difference on my aiming, my editing, and building, because when you play on a lower dead zones, it makes everything feel super responsive. But of course, the caveat to that is going to be you're going to have a little bit of stick drift, which you guys are going to be able to see in just a second. But the thing is, when it comes to stick drift, as long as it's only on your look analog stick, so your right analog stick, it's not going to be that big of a problem. And honestly, if you're moving around, if you're constantly looking like you're aiming in a fight, someone's shooting at you and you're maybe going for a flick shot, or you're shooting your SMG, you're not going to be just looking directly straight. So the stick drift really something that's just not that noticeable. It's really only noticeable when you're standing still, but all in all, it's just one of those things that can be kind of annoying, but it's really not that big of a deal. You just want to make sure you don't have any stick drift on the left analog stick, because one thing that can happen is if you try to aim down your sights and you have a little bit of stick drift, you're not going to be able to get that first shot accuracy, because every single time that you inch over to the left side or right side, what happens is your reticle goes up, meaning that you're going to have a lot more bloom. So that's why you don't want to have any stick drift on your left analog stick, but having a little bit on your right isn't that big of a deal. Now when it comes to aiming, a really big tip that I give that really helps a lot of players out is going to be when you're aiming from range and you have to make just a small analog stick adjustment. A lot of the times I just slightly inch my player to the left or right, so I don't use my right analog stick. Instead I use my left analog stick, and I just inch my player over a little bit to the left or right, because I find it easier just to inch my player over than trying to make a small analog stick adjustment on linear settings. So when it comes to trying to aim my shots from long range, typically I'm going to be using my player's movement to help me aim, and that's something that I've been using for a while and has been a really big help to hitting shots from long range on other players. So those are going to be my best settings that I want you guys to use. If you are looking to improve your aim, I definitely would recommend trying out these settings or something very similar to it. But with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you found this video very helpful, make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Make sure you guys do hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload. And as well, I do live stream every single day here on this channel. I start a little bit earlier now. I start at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys do hit that notification bell so you guys will get a notification when I go live on this channel. But with that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching the video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.